Now, in response to Christoph's wanting to report me, not observing the boundary between the personal and the professional, I have a story about Christoph that he would rather forget. But I have more important things to say. So I'm going to say the other things first. Many people have asked me the same questions, and I want to take this opportunity to answer them. The first question is why I'm retiring at all, because there's no retirement age. And our president, congressmen, senators, Supreme Court justices, and some professors, they work until their 80s or 90s or until they drop dead. But, I think teaching is a noble profession. I love teaching, and I enjoy thinking about mathematics. Tufts is a wonderful place to teach and to do research, with smart and supportive administrators, faculty, staff, and students. So this is a dream job. And because it's a dream job, I feel like somebody else should enjoy it because I've had it long enough. So that's one of the reasons I want to retire. I would feel guilty if I continue to hold on to it until I'm 90. When I discussed with Dean Sam Thomas retirement, he told me, "Lori, you are irreplaceable." And so I responded with an old saying, "The cemeteries are full of irreplaceables." And another question people ask me is what I'm going to do after retirement. There are a couple of math projects that I haven't finished, and it will probably take me a year or two to finish. So I will continue to work on that. And then, as Christoph mentioned, I often stay in my office until midnight, in fact, most of the time. So all my life, I have prioritized work over other things like health or social life. So in retirement, I want to do things that I haven't had time to do. I want to hit the gym, visit friends, have some social life, and maybe I'll also learn new things, like AI, like and music. And furthermore, my mother is 97, and she lives alone. So I will spend half of my time taking care of my mother, alternating with my younger brother. And finally, if I'm inspired, I might do math again. Now, you might wonder whether after 39 years, I have some parting words of wisdom. Yes, I do. And I'm going to tell you everything that I have learned at Tufts. But don't worry, my speech will not be long because I haven't learned that much. History fades into oblivion unless it's passed down orally or in writing. So I'm going to tell you about a forgotten episode in the history of Tufts. There used to be 2 apple trees across College Avenue from this building, thrusting into the sky. One was majestic. The other was not so tall, no, it's more modest, but it's also pretty tall. Okay? And every spring they would be laden with apples. Okay? But like clockwork, a flock of birds, would come like the movie, Hitchcock's movie. And they would pick all the apples from one tree, the big one. And in a few hours, all the apples would be gone, and then they leave. But they don't touch the other one, the smaller one. Now that smaller one has some low-hanging fruits that people would pick, as they go by. But then there are the higher ones, that look even better because they're exposed to the sun and they're red, but they're out of reach. One year, my colleague, George McNinch, had a student, Nathan, from Switzerland, working with him for one semester. And so Nathan and I and Fulton went to the tree, and Nathan, he would just like shake the tree like this until apples fell. Okay? But the apples that fell, they were overripe, and they all got bruised. So I thought there had to be a better way, and therefore I made this. There's a hole here, and then, I would just catch an apple, give it a twist, and bring it down gently.
Patented. Patented. It's a kit. Patented as a kit.
It cannot be patented. It's very old and used
Mrs.
everyone else.
Is a patent lawyer.
But it hasn't been patented as a kit.
So every apple is perfect and blemished. But this is a painstaking operation because the apples often try to slip away, and it's not so easy, to catch them. Fulton, he was not as patient, but he was more athletic. So he would just climb the tree and grab as many apples as he could. So after Nathan left, we did this for several years, and once I even made an apple pie, and I served it at the Asian and Asian American faculty staff potluck. People thought it was delicious. I mean, these apples, they had a unique flavor, unlike other apples you get in stores. We call them Tufts apples. But then one year, we usually do it like around 5 o'clock in the morning, because I told Fulton that if you're going to steal in early hours when nobody else is looking.
We were also embarrassed by the students who could see us.
I don't think you were so embarrassed, because one year Fulton refused to get up early. He said, "It's not stealing. I mean, these apples, they would just rot and fall, and nobody else would get them, So I see that academics like to split hair. But anyway, that year, we went out at 1:30 p.m. to pick apples, and I was using my stick, and Fulton was climbing the tree. And then a Tufts facilities van and stopped, and the driver was looking at us. I knew right away that we were in trouble. So I grabbed a whole bunch of apples. I ran to the driver. I offered. I said, "Would you like some apples?" And he said, "No, thanks." And he drove away. And the next day, there was a crew that cut down the apple tree stumps. Now, as for the other apple tree, the one that's really tall and majestic that the birds like, well, a big branch fell during a rainstorm. And I was able to get some of those apples. But then I found that they were not as good as the Tufts apples that we have been picking. So, to each their own taste. The birds, they had different taste buds. But after the tree fell, facilities also got approved to cut down those trees. So now there are no more trees. And there's a single person whom I blame for the disappearance of this one tree with Tufts apples. And that's
Sorry.
If he had been willing to get up early, we could still have Tufts apples. So now if you go out there, like in the slopes, across the street from this building, across College Avenue, you can still see the two trees' stumps, okay? But no more trees.
Get the DNA from the stumps.
So the lesson I learned is something I had always known. If you're going to steal, do it when no one else is looking. Thank you for listening.